Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, some might say it's cold. Others, like myself and my partner, we say this is football weather as we welcome you to chilly M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Oakland Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. Their long winning streak finally came to an end last week. A disappointing game for them, but still a heck of a run.
Indeed it was. What a great job by them putting together a streak. Now let's see how they rebound after a defeat.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes that actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost. Yeah. How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
It's a loss of 4 on that first play, and it's second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Well, certainly not the start they were looking for here as they come up on a 3rd and 14. From the gun, it's Carr. Now he'll let it go deep right side. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. A big play that time for the Raiders. 42 yards. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. Does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Josh Jacobs hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. So they start this game just like they won. Opening drive touchdown, a nice run there to finish it off.
Yeah, that's what we call an explosive run because of the distance. And being able to do that, that puts a little uncertainty in the minds of your opponent.
This will be fielded at the 8. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. They will be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner back in 2016. Always a handful to contain, Lamar Jackson.
To be considered for the MVP award in the NFL, it's got to be a season of not just consistency, but spectacular consistency, and he's had it all the way through.
I think you're right. He's been as consistent, more consistent probably than anybody else as the numbers bear out. And the social media chatter for the MVP races really start to ramp up. I know you and I have felt that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, he's in the pole position as we head down the stretch.
12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. Jackson now. He's going to rifle one deep lefts. This is caught inside the 15. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A big play there with touchdown number 12 on the year as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. A look now at the lineup defensively for the Ravens. They're in the spot statistically that you don't want to be in against the pass. Number 32 in the league, dead last.
Defending the pass has not been one of their strong suits throughout the season, but if they have any hopes of making waves in January, they've got to improve in this area.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. Oh, and now some space to operate. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. He did well to get him 8 yards, but it's still going to mean a call to the punt team on 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
This is Spiller. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They're going with Lindsey. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So just shy of midfield. They tried it. Didn't work out. What did you think?
I thought that they should have punted the ball away. Should have gotten rid of it and played defense with better field position. Look, I'm as aggressive as anyone wanting to go for it on offense, but in this situation, it doesn't.
First half.
I don't know that there's any risk. I mean, what's the reward for your risk here? I would not have done that. My only explanation is this coach, he may want to be up here in the booth with us. We may have a 3-man booth starting next week if he keeps up with those decisions.
Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down. Boy, some big runs here, Charles, already in this first quarter.
Yeah, if the lanes are there, go ahead and exploit them. But what I like the most, how decisive he is, putting his foot in the ground and going.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light there.
Oh, and Mack has the ball stripped.
Let's go, baby.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free. But a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. On second down, Jacobs. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Raiders have taken the lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Down! Here we go! Jump!
They'll run it with Jacobs. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year as his guys are able to regain the lead. He told us he was going to hit the end zone a couple times in this game. I just don't know that he envisioned doing it in the first quarter.
He probably did. I'm not sure we did,
yeah.
Right? Because all the great ones, that's what they do. They dream about it, right? They think about it. They envision it. They think it's going to happen and almost will themselves into it. I just look at what he's done so far and just wonder what's left to come. Let's sit back and enjoy this one.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. Got him in. It's Brown. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown, his 11th touchdown of the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Great corner route there, not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
These two teams all tied after one. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Carr to throw. Into the hands of his running back, Marlon Mack. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now Carr, he'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown. And now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On 2nd down now, it's Mack. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. The Raiders on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Able to find Waller. That's complete. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Called that a very strong gain of 24.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Darren Waller, the intended receiver, but it's going to be 2nd down. Carr again here on 2nd and 10. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Carr. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Shotgun now for Carr. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they take a 17-14 lead. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. He's doing his job, but the bottom line, they're losing. They've got a deficit to make up here, and he knows it.
And quarterbacks who last in this league learn that lesson really early. You may have had a great stat line and felt pretty good about how you played, but if your team didn't win, it almost doesn't matter. And right now he's adopted that attitude. How do I get better? How does my team get better? How do we find a way to win the game?
Now he's hoping to lead his team to a successful drive. On 2nd down, it's Lindsey. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. To throw on 3rd down, Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Escaping the pressure right. It's caught inside the 25. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
This will be caught by Brown. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Ravens have retaken the lead.
Defensively by now, you know his ability. You know he has it in him to take off and run.
Yeah, because they knew coming into this game, but we've already seen examples in this contest that he can run the football.
I think they're going to examine different ways to rush him now. Are they going to do it with different lanes? Are they going to use a spy? But they have to come up with options because right now, He's hurting them.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Carr, he's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Mack off the draw play. And some room to maneuver. He's at the 30, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Marlon Mack with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Raiders have retaken the lead. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the offense heading back out. A 1,000-yard campaign in his sights, Charles, but needs a little bit of a kick here down the stretch to reach it.
And sometimes at this stage of the season, you're looking for that extra goal, right? That extra motivation to accomplish what you want, not just as a team, but as individuals. He's got to stretch a little bit to get there. That might be what they're talking about during the practice sessions in their meetings. Hey, we can still get this done.
Through an opening, and there he goes. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game, as his guys have now moved out in front. They erased that deficit pretty quickly, did they not? A 2-play drive.
What do we call that? Short-lived?
Very.
Very short-lived. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone and back out in front. We always talk about drives, don't we? Does 2 plays count as a drive?
Not really, but that 2nd play was so good. I don't care what we call it. It was enjoyable to watch. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
He completes this one to Mack. That one good for 13 and a Raider 1st down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Throw left side complete. That's Mack. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Come on.
The final shot here before half for Carr. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. To throw again on second down. Jackson. And now he's going to use his legs. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs. Able to improvise and get the first.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 38. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. Got the defense on their heels. 2 first downs in a row, and now a pickup of 8. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Here's Spiller. And he'll go down at the 28. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
One thing rookies need to learn at this level and quick, make a cut, be decisive, and go. Because in college, you could dance around and wait for a hole to open because you're probably a better athlete than most of the guys on the field, but not on the NFL level.
This time, Jackson will throw it. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. O.J. Howard, his 4th touchdown on the year. As the Ravens push further out in front. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Evades the tackler, and now some space. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. A Raider first down, 17 yards. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 41. Now they'll throw with Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that, first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And his kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
Play action. It's Jackson.
But that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Here's Jackson on 3rd down. That's complete to his running back, Grant. And he loses the football a 2nd time.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
That'll be taken in there by Miles Boykin. Defensively, a bit of a collapse, allowing the 4th down play to result in 23 yards. Here's Jackson. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated. He's able to call his own number for 8 that time, but it leaves him with a 3rd down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. On 3rd down, here's Lindsey. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Philip Lindsey, touchdown number 15 of the year, as the Ravens push further out in front. So they went to the ground game on 3rd, hoping to pick up the 1st. They also picked up a touchdown.
Offensive linemen so used in this situation to having to pass block. All right, you're looking at what it is, third down. They don't care that it's third and whatever. They figure they're going to throw the ball. And when you call a running play, I think you energize them. I think you juice them up because I haven't met an offensive lineman yet that likes to pass block more than they like to run block. And they opened up some nice holes there for him, and he took it to the house.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He is hoping to find the end zone for a third time, and we sit now in the third quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, I think even more so, is offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men. I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Back now in Baltimore. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the fourth. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw his Carr. The open man here, Renfro. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Get him, boy! Get him, boy!
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Hey, check Michael Landon, check. Where's it on? Tighten up. Pull it together.
Carr now to throw. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, and they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And Waller taking it in over the middle. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down. Carr now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Carr going to throw. It's caught by Aguilar. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Now Carr. After the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Now it's Mack, draw play. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. The Raiders on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. To throw, it's Carr. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a first down. In a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. One more time with Jacobs. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out, as they're now just an extra point away from getting back within 1 score.
Well, 3 scores in this game. I think that deserves some type of a broad gesture. I know in hockey, that's called a hat trick, and people throw their hats out on the ice. What about us? What can we do for this guy?
Well, if I'm his teammates, I'm buying him a little steak dinner tonight, right? At least a skirt steak, probably a filet.
Oh, you're going big. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, skirt at minimum,
skirt
filet
steak,
at maximum.
You can't give the guy a skirt steak
That's
his
for
first 3
filet,
times. There you go.
10 ounce, 16 ounce.
Porterhouse.
Fine. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15 for Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
On second down and 4. Jackson, blitz coming, and down he goes. Nick Kwiatkowski able to maneuver in for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And all the way down to the 39. A big play that time for the Ravens. 44 yards. Now Jackson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It was Justin Houston, the native of Statesboro, Georgia, with a sack.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And an alley to run. Past the 20. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Marquise Brown, his second touchdown of the afternoon as the Ravens push further out in front.
No lead safe in the new NFL, but this score is really going to give them some needed breathing room.
So the Ravens will keep the offense on the field as they're going to go for 2. Lindsey going to try and run it in. And he is into the end zone for 2 more as the lead moves up to 16. Only had a couple of yards to gain there on the 2-point conversion, and they were able to do it.
And how many teams shy away from running the football in a 2-point conversion? They treat 2 yards as if it were 20. If you're a good team running the ball, go to your strength. Go ahead and push it into the end zone.
Yeah, they did. It worked. This is taken at the 3. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So Carr and the Raiders now down by 16, 2:12 to play. They have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but they need 2 scores. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll start on the ground with Mack. And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd and 9. Carr, a short one here, secured by the tight end Waller. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Carr now on 1st down.
I got kicked out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide it. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run here with Mack, and that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. From the gun, it's Carr. He's got a man. It's Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him a 1st down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off down at the 2. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense, but they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for third down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Third down. It's Grant. And they're going to get the first out here as he's up to the 14. Third and medium. They opted to run instead of pass, and it worked. First down. And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. Flushed out right. Now he'll pull it down. The quick feet by Jackson. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson taking it in as the Ravens push further out in front.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it? Yeah. This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Short kick. One of the up men will take it now.
Come on, fellas.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Ravens, they continue to make their case as a Super Bowl favorite as they move to 13-1. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.